Hey folks, Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalist, and in this case I'd like to talk about a couple things, and stick around for this video. I'm going to be talking about the recent controversy regarding Black Rifle Company statement regarding Kyle Rittenhouse wearing one of their t-shirts, and the statement they said distancing themselves from him because of that. And beyond that, some of the lessons that are there for you to learn if you know what to look for, because this is more than just a company doing what sometimes company looking after their own best financial interests end up doing, but this is also about what you're likely to expect in the future when you are in a position of maybe having to defend yourself from a illegitimate illegal attack like Kyle did. By the way, guys, before I go on with the video, if you haven't bought my latest book, Street Survival Skills, you definitely want to get it. A lot of it is related to this kind of thing: avoiding violence on the streets, knowing how to defend yourself when on foot, when driving a vehicle, home defense, a bunch of other things. Hopefully you avoid these situations as much as possible, but if you end up finding yourself in one of these like Kyle did, you will have the tools as to defend yourself in a pretty effective manner. So what is it that he actually said? Well, the picture is just Kyle Rittenhouse, recently released, fortunately, who he shouldn't have been in prison in the first place, because we all saw what happened. This isn't one of those cases in which you can say, yeah, I'd rather wait until justice is served and we see what actually happened. We wait for the legal system to do their thing. No, you have video here from different angles. We all saw how he was being attacked by literally a convicted pedophile. The short bald guy, he was a convicted pedophile that had a sheet record of, even in prison, after 10 years in prison, the time he spent in prison, he has like 3 pages of attacks on other inmates, drugs, attacks with weapons. I mean, he's an animal, and Kyle is absolutely right. If he hadn't stopped him, he probably would have been killed by that lunatic. Anyway, the picture is Kyle with the Black Rifle Company t-shirt, and to our people, happy about not being in jail anymore, which he shouldn't have been in the first place. Now, apparently the left, like they always do, looking for something to complain about and get upset about, they ended up burning Black Rifle Coffee Company on Twitter about, you're supporting Kyle Rittenhouse, he's a mass murderer and all that bullshit. And you can expect that from the left, because that's the only thing they do. They get upset about crap and complain. And they complain about something that they probably never bought before. I don't see many Marxists and commies buying Black Rifle Coffee Company coffee in the first place. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe the guys at Black Rifle Coffee Company know this a lot better than I do. But I'd be surprised to know that they have much of a market there with those people. Maybe they do. How much is it? How many commies buy it? Like 5%, 10% of their market is that? 40% of your market is liberal nutcases buying your Black Rifle Coffee Company coffee. Now, and how much is it that you're willing to sacrifice what I assume is your base, like conservative gun owners? Black Rifle Coffee Company, the Black Rifle that Kyle Rittenhouse. By the way, guys, Black Rifle is an AR-15, something like this, and that's exactly what Kyle ended up using to defend himself. So I'm kind of surprised that they felt the need to make any kind of statement. And folks on the internet just went nuts. Some of the comments here are kind of funny. Yeah, F those guys, kind of what I was expecting. Pussy ass bitch. Can I say that on YouTube without getting demonetized? It's too late. They are after you. Once cancel culture smells blood in the water, they don't stop just cause you cave like a bunch of little cowards. Bending a knee to BLM, and it goes on and on and on and on. Yeah, and there's a couple of supporters there, which you can also expect. But specifically what they said, the statement is the following. This is out of the Black Rifle Coffee Company website. The statement says, mission as veterans-owned and operated coffee company, Black Rifle Coffee Company exists to serve premium coffee while supporting the veteran community. At the core of Black Rifle Coffee values is to support and bring awareness to the millions of veterans who have proudly served our nation, and we will not waver from that mission. Okay, no, I don't think anyone was asking you to waive that. But it goes on. The Black Rifle brand, this is the Black Rifle, and that's the exact rifle that, Kyle ended up using. The Black Rifle brand is a symbol of service, of strength, of goodness that has carried over from our military origins. It is why we support active duty service members and veterans, prioritize veteran hiring, and advocate for individual liberty and personal responsibility. Isn't that what Kyle stands for as well? I mean, some people are maybe taking this too far, Saint Kyle. I don't think the kid is a saint. I think he's a very good kid based on what he was doing that day, cleaning up graffitis, and he was trying to help out people, and he had a rifle precisely to defend himself. So, advocate for individual liberty and personal responsibility. Well, yeah, so shouldn't this be something you support as well? We don't support, and here's where it gets kind of sad. At least that's the way I see it. Some other people were saying pussying out. Is that the word for it? English is not my first language. Would that represent what this would be? Let me know in the comments section, by the way, guys. We do not support legal advocacy efforts. All right, so you do not. I can only assume they mean that they don't support like finance, or they didn't help out with the bail money for Kyle. Is that what they're trying to clarify? We do not sponsor, nor do we have a relationship with a 17-year-old facing charges in Kenosha. That is cold, to say the least, and I at least see it as very disappointing. Trying to use I'm not going to be saying those words like pussing out, bunch of coward bitches and all that stuff that the folks were saying on Facebook and on some of the gun forums. I would use another word. I would use the word disappointing and kind of a letdown from a company that is called freaking Black Rifle Company. And not only that, but they made their marketing around freedom, liberty, and Second Amendment, and the right to defend yourself. I mean, am I crazy here? Am I out of context completely? Is this because I'm not American, I'm a foreigner seeing this from the outside and they got this completely wrong? Again, let me know in the comment section if that's the case, because I just don't see how this is a statement coming out of a company that's called Black Rifle Coffee Company, and they made piles of videos. I've seen several of those videos. Matt Best is the guy. Is it like he's an actor, but he's also the owner of the company or part owner of the company? Let me know in the comments, no idea, but I think he is. And I remember that guy that is from Black Rifle Coffee Company making several videos, parodies, but I mean, man, at the end of the day, he's making videos about using guns against burglars and your right to use guns for self-defense against attackers, criminals, and that sort of thing. And wouldn't this be something that you supposedly support as well, or is it just only if you're a veteran? If you're not a veteran, then go fuck yourself. You're not in our little group, and I don't know. Is that maybe the thing? It goes on. We believe in the integrity of the legal justice system and support law enforcement officials. Okay, so they support law enforcement, they support military, but they don't support. If you're not law enforcement and you're not a veteran, then you don't support them. Would that be the reading, or reading between the lines? We're grateful for the continued support of the Black Rifle community and eager to continue servicing those who serve. Evan Hafner, CEO, founder. I assume Evan Hafner is a veteran. I assume that. I have no idea, but I guess he is, based on being a veteran founded and run a company. It is, yeah. You know what? This is the kind of statement you would expect from Starbucks if Kyle Rittenhouse had been wearing a Starbucks t-shirt, and Starbucks goes out and says these exact same words. Distancing themselves from the kid and such. Yeah, sure, that would be the kind of thing you would expect from a Starbucks, from a McDonald's, from a one of these. Now, a company that's supposedly standing for freedom, liberty, and those American values, you would assume that. I mean, you could have done a few different things. I'm trying to not be hot-headed and go like all that. Let's cancel the company. Let's not buy anything from them. I mean, that's up to each one, but you would assume this is the thing you would expect from those kind of companies, not a company that is supposedly standing for these things, supposedly standing for the same things that Kyle obviously stands for. He obviously stands for that because he actually went out there, tried to improve the community that was being burned down by these rioters, these looters, cleaning the graffiti, helping out people that were wounded during the peaceful part of the protest, as to put it somehow, and then trying to defend the community from people that wanted to burn it down. The people that were burning dumpsters in a gas station, trying to literally blow up the city. And blow up a city in the United States, blow up a city in America, and he's trying to stop that. Wouldn't that be something that you would support as well here, Evan? Wouldn't that be the case? So no, I mean, you could have had three ways of reacting to this. You could just have made no statement whatsoever. You could have made the statement supporting Kyle and his right to defend himself with a black rifle, like he did, from a convicted pedophile and someone that came at him with a gun and someone else that tried to murder him with a skateboard, hitting him over the head. Or you could have done this, which is distance yourself from the individual that is the focus of attention by the left. And unfortunately, this is the way they chose to go with. I mean, the big lesson here, folks, and this is what I really wanted to get at, is expect this kind of thing. Expect people, because I don't know, some people, this bitch ass, whatever they're called, I don't think that these people are bitches. They're all veterans. They're all pretty brave folks that have been to war, and I don't assume that they're scared of the left saying nasty things about them on Twitter. I just don't think that's the case. Now, what's maybe even more disappointing is that the only option you have left is what? They're worried about what? Making less money? Is that really what they're worried about? That's why they chose to make this statement instead of shutting up or supporting Kyle. Just say nothing, or support the kid. But no, just distance yourself like Starbucks. So why is it that they go for that? The only answer for me is money. That's the only answer. The only reason I can see for this kind of statement is money. It's greed. It's a $80 million company that is run by people that are apparently worried about what? Pissing off the left and making less sales, and what? Selling $70 million worth of coffee next year? 60? Is that really where you draw the line? It's just about money? And it's sad, because you would assume that someone that is in that position, you would have a little bit more of a base and a foundation to stand on, so as to make someone of a of taking a position and saying, yeah, I mean, we support the kid, or just saying nothing, which would have been the safest thing. I mean, I think this is a horrible mistake by Black Rifle Coffee Company, and I'm not calling it for any kind of sabotage or any kind of nonsense like that, or not buying their product. If you want to keep buying overpriced Black Rifle Coffee Company coffee, keep on buying it. And I mean this, I'm not being ironic. I hope they do great. I hope everyone in the company makes not 80 million, makes $100,000 million billion, and they do fantastic. I don't wish anything but success to other people, especially running an honest business and pure capitalism at work. You put out a product out there, and you do your marketing thing, and you are successful with that. That's all fantastic. Now, it is kind of sad to see that out of even the slightest possibility of having your sales drop in the tiniest little bits of figures, you have this kind of reaction as a company and as individuals, because these are people. At the end of the day, the person that signs this is this person, Evan Hafner, CEO founder, signed by this person. So that's the stance he obviously chooses to take with this statement. But what you need to understand is that this is fairly common. This is very common, in fact. And the more that pressure keeps on going up, the more of these type of statements you will see. You will see people bending over time and again. People that you thought would never do this. Because you see those videos. You see those Black Rifle Coffee Company videos where they're shooting all the guns, they're standing for the Second Amendment. But when it actually comes down to it, when it actually, well, as we say, is when the fire is burning there, they just go. They just go Starbucks. They go the safe corporate type of statement, which is sad. But you have to understand that it's not just about companies. It's not just about individual millionaires, which I assume this man is obviously a millionaire founder of the Black Rifle Coffee Company. But it's also going to be among people. I mean, and if this guy, which I assume is a veteran, I may be wrong or not, let me know in the comments. I assume he's a veteran. I assume he's a millionaire, and he still felt the need to bend the knee to BLM, and we're not with him. No, we're not with Kyle. Kyle has nothing to do with us. We wish he had never taken that picture with our Black Rifle Company logo with little black rifles crossed in the actual freaking logo. This will happen among your community. This will happen with your family. This will happen with your friends. This will happen with your neighbors. And I've been through this. I've seen it. And this is the kind of stuff I've been writing for years. This kind of stuff. And it only gets worse. It only gets worse. It's not many good news here, but if this happens to a guy that's a veteran, that's a millionaire, imagine what happens to a guy living paycheck to paycheck, worried and honestly scared of losing his job and losing that paycheck, of losing the roof over his head. Imagine if a guy that's a veteran and a millionaire backs down like this and bends over like this for even the slightest possibility of having his the sales of his company drop in the slightest. I would assume that this is even counterproductive. I think this was a huge mistake, because this is only going to be pissing off what I assume is their base. The conservative gun owners on the right, I assume, is most 50, 60. Most of their market is that, and they're not like. I mean, I wouldn't buy if I had been buying coffee from them. And believing everything that they say they stand for, and then they come out with this statement, I wouldn't be buying any coffee from. I wouldn't be investing a single buck in them anymore. At least that's the way I see it. And again, not a lefty lunatic. You do whatever it is that you want with your money. I wouldn't be buying what is overpriced coffee, and mostly an attempt to support someone that you believe is like-minded, because that's what most of this is about. If you've been most people have no freaking idea what good or bad coffee is, and how much better or worse can it be compared to average stuff that is maybe half the price. Let's be honest. Who's that much of a coffee connoisseur or whatever it is? You just buy it because it's called Black Rifle Company, because you support this. And you feel those are the guys that are going to be supporting the same thing as you do, and they're going to be giving that, and that money is going to be ending up in the hands of veterans and people that are like-minded. But when you read the statement, it ends up sounding like, yeah, we support veterans and we support law enforcement, but we do not support the average 17-year-old kid defending himself from a sexual predator on the streets while trying to protect an American city. Again, maybe it's me being a complete idiot and not understanding all of this because I'm not an American and I don't live in the United States, and let me know in the comments if that's the case. If I'm completely misguided, by God, let me know there. But that's the way I see it. I just don't get it. And if I had been buying this coffee, which apparently by the comments is not exactly cheap, in an effort to support that, I would stop buying it. And I'd buy Nestle or whatever crap it is out there, or whatever other brand of good coffee I end up liking or whatnot. But I wouldn't be doing that as an effort to support someone that I falsely believed represented my same values, because they obviously don't, because when it came down to it. But again, what I was saying before, this is going to be happening more and more. If this happens to a millionaire veteran that has nothing to be worried about other than making 79 million instead of 80, or having that number not go up more, buying one less supercar or whatever it is that millionaires spend their money on, imagine what it's going to be for the average guy. Imagine what's going to be like for the average guy that could lose his job for saying, yeah, I think that this kid did right in defending himself. That guy is going to be scared. Imagine what's going to be like when your neighbors, when you're having some of these, and we've talked about this with Matt Bracking in some of the shows we do on Saturdays 3 p.m., your neighbor, you're talking about defending your community in case of something bad happening, and a couple of weeks later he's talking with the police. Yeah, he's a dangerous freak, he's a gun nut, he was talking about shooting people passing by. Even if you didn't say that, that guy is maybe scared of not being politically correct enough, and is likely to make that kind of statement. So expect this from people. Even expect it from what you just saw here. Expect it even from people that are veterans, that are supposedly like-minded people. And maybe a very important lesson here: just because someone has an AR doesn't make that he's a like-minded individual. Just because someone has a gun doesn't mean that he's on your side. All right? Look at what happened to Kyle. He ended up shooting the last guy, Lefty, the guy that had his right biceps blown off. He had a gun in his hand and he was about to shoot Kyle. So is that guy what, my friend, because he's a gun owner? No, he's a criminal. He's a thug. He happens to be using a gun. But as we all know, that's the kind of guy that will not respect any law forbidding him from having a gun. Actually, he was not allowed to have that gun because he was a convicted felon. And he was not supposed to have a gun in the first place, yet he had it. And no one seems to be remembering that, and it's not being mentioned in the mainstream media. Okay? But this is the kind of thing that's going to be happening more and more. It's the kind of thing that I write about in my book. Especially a lot of this stuff is covered here in the Modern Survival Manual, my first book, because this is the kind of thing we saw in Argentina, and we still see it. We still see reporters, journalists being scared, actors, celebrities taking a very safe stance. Anyone that's somewhat of a public figure, anyone that has something to lose, you're scared of the left-leaning commie government that is completely capable of ruining your life if you're not aligning with their ideology. That's the way it's been in Argentina for many years. Unfortunately, it's again the way it is in Argentina, and again you're seeing this happen over there with people being scared of saying the wrong thing because it costs you your job. You end up being fired. If you work in anything public, if they can screw you over with anything using the government, a lot of people will take that safe position and will bend over just to stay on the safe spot. And unfortunately, it's what you're going to be seeing in the United States. It's what you're already seeing in the United States. Even while Trump is still president, you're seeing this. You're seeing people losing their jobs because their wife said something wrong on Twitter. All right? Guys, that's the way it is. It is unfortunate, but I think it's interesting to comment on all of this because it's beyond the little Black Rifle Coffee Company incident and this specific case. The lesson here goes way beyond that, and I'd like you guys to be prepared for it because it's going to be catching a lot of people by surprise. A lot of people thought that because a company was called Black Rifle Coffee Company, then oh yeah, they're like us, they're like-minded. They will no, they will not support you. No. They will not support Kyle because it's not good for business, man. Business comes first, okay? It's all good. We do all the videos. We do all the funny stuff on YouTube. But, man, you don't mess with money. We're going to be taking the safe stance just in case a soy boy ends up buying our coffee. Just in case we miss out on a couple $1,000. I don't know how many sales they have on the left. But that would be the kind of thing that should not surprise you. Expect this from people. Expect to be disappointed and let down. My experience is 9 times out of 10 people do this. People let you down like this. 9 times out of 10. That's why I'm so appreciative of people that are not like that. Because it is rare. People are greedy. People are cowards. You see this all the time. Greedy and cowards, you will find those a lot of. And people that actually have courage, that stand for really what they believe in, those are far in between. Folks, subscribe to the channel, check the books in Amazon because you really want to prepare for what's coming. See you on the next video. Have an awesome day.